Hi internet people. So this is the first ever vlog of October. So the vlog that went up earlier this month on the 2nd was the Spooky Smart Bitch Readathon vlog, which was over a week of content, but it was filmed entirely in September. So this is the first vlog of October, and for this vlog I am going to be reading, well, rereading The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. So I have actually read this couple years ago at least, but I have read this before. But I'm reading this because this week the sequel is coming out. Yes, I did say sequel. So it is not technically like a sequel. It's not by Shirley Jackson. So I am going to pull this up because I did get up. So A Haunting on the Hill by Elizabeth Hand is considered the spiritual goodness, sequel to the original book. So this is the first one that's ever been approved, and it is authorized. So it is an authorized sequel. Like, it is allowed to be out, it is allowed to be part of the universe, and it is focused on Hill House. So I'm gonna read you the brief description because I don't want to give a ton of it away, but here we go. Holly Sherwin has been a struggling playwright for years, but now, after receiving a grant to develop her play, The Witch of Edmonton, she may finally be close to her big break. All she needs is time and space to bring her vision to life. When she stumbles upon Hill House on a weekend getaway upstate, she is immediately taken in by the ornate, if crumbling Gothic mansion, nearly hidden outside a remote village. It's enormous, old, and ever so eerie. The perfect place to develop and rehearse the play. Despite her own hesitations, Holly's girlfriend Nisa agrees to join Holly in renting the house out for a month. And soon, a troupe of actors, each with ghosts of their own, arrive. Yet as they settle in, the house's peculiarities are made known. Strange creatures stalk the grounds, disturbing sounds echo throughout the halls, and time itself seems to shift. All too soon, Holly and her friends find themselves at odds, not just with one another, but with the house itself. It seems something has been waiting in Hill House all these years, and it no longer intends to walk alone. So that is the sequel. Now, the original one, and I know a lot of people think this book is different if they haven't read it, because there is an adaptation. The writer's strike is over, but the actor's strike is still going on, so I'm not going to talk about that in detail. I will say the adaptation of this story, it takes a lot of liberties. It is very good, but it does take a lot of liberties. This story specifically does focus on Hill House, but there are 4 people at Hill House. Dr. Montague, an occult scholar, Theodora, his assistant, Luke, who will be inheriting, and Eleanor, a friendless, fragile young woman with a dark past. So that story only has 4 people in it. I do remember really liking Hill House, the book. So I'm very intrigued to see this new one, especially because the new one is gay. Yes, I'm so excited. So those are the primary 2 things that I'm going to be focusing on. The issue is that I am starting this on the 2nd. Hill House is not going to take me that long to read. It's not very big. I'm going to read it kind of slow just because. But I can't get the audiobook until the 6th. So I won't be listening to it until closer to the weekend. So if I don't take forever to read Hill House and just like leisurely read it, I'm also going to try and read Delicate Condition. So I have that pulled up too. I'm going to cough. Again, I have asthma. This happens sometimes and I can't stop it. So be warned. There you go. Again, I have asthma, I have chronic asthma, I have chronic very bad asthma. So occasionally if I cough, it's just gonna happen and I'm not editing it out because I have asthma and it happens. Anyway, so Delicate Condition is, oh, this is so tiny, is by Danielle. Why is it cut off like that? Why would you do that? Valentine? I think, yeah, Danielle Valentine. It came out in August, or at least this version did. It is huge. So this may be like a casual read. This is saying it's 432 pages, and I don't know that I can do that this week. But this specific book is, and I'm cutting some of this off because the description for this, because it's a newer release, is like, woo, look at this. This has so many blah, blah, blahs. But anyway, this specific book focuses on Anna Alcott. She is desperate to have a family, but as she tries to balance her increasingly public life as an indie actress with a grueling IVF journey, she starts to suspect that someone is going to great lengths to make sure that never happens. Crucial medicines are lost. Appointments get swapped without her knowledge. Cryptic warnings have her jumping at shadows. Despite everything she's gone through to make this pregnancy a reality, not even her husband is willing to believe that someone is playing twisted games with her. Then her doctor tells her she's had a miscarriage, except Anna's convinced she's still pregnant despite everything. Everything the grave-faced men around her claim. She can feel the baby moving inside her, can see the strain it's taking on her weakening body. Vague warnings become direct threats as someone stalks her through the bleak ghost town of the snowy Hamptons. As her symptoms and sense of danger grow ever more horrifying, Anna can't help but wonder what exactly she's carrying inside her and why no one will listen when she says something is horribly, painfully wrong. So yes, that is that. I didn't realize it was so big. I have it on Kindle, and I can't always tell how big a book it is on Kindle, so I might just be spacing that out off and on during this week and during next week, because I'm also going to be reading a set of spooky books next week, and I only have 2 picked right now. But I don't want to tease too much. I will say that Edgar Allan Poe is involved. But this week we'll be doing Shirley Jackson, so Haunting of Hill House, Haunting on the Hill, and a little bit of Delicate Condition if I can fit it in. So I'm very excited. I thought it'd be fun to kick off the month with a reread of a book that I really like and the highly anticipated sequel to that book. And then Delicate Condition, I'm going to assume you know why I have chosen to read it without getting into details. Another booktuber, Erin Megan, read it and she liked it. And she also mentioned that there was an adaptation. That adaptation is up currently, which is why I am very sure this book came out differently than what the internet is telling me. There is no way that it came out in 2023 based on the adaptation. So, unless by magic, but I don't think so. So I am excited to read. I will let you know what I think. So I hope you enjoy this spooky vlog, because something else spooky is happening at the end of this week that I am mildly horrified about, but I'm going to leave you in suspense. I am going to tell you that this super cute outfit, which includes shorts you can't really see, is from Five Below. This is like a cute little Halloween PJ set from Five Below that I thought was very, very cute. I also got, I'm gonna show you this because I can't. This is a short video anyway. I got this little guy. He's so cute. Ah, he's a little plague doctor. Anyway, actually this video is gonna be longer. It's a huge vlog. Now that I have filled you with roughly 7 minutes of me just talking to myself, let's get into the vlog. Bye for now, internet people. Hello. I don't know if you really need to check in on this book. It's short, so I am reading The Haunting of Hill House. It's only 182 pages, but the language is a language that I have to read slowly. Like, it's written very beautifully, so I'm just sort of like reading through the book pretty slowly, which was kind of my plan after like reading so many books last week. We have been introduced to all of the assistants. So we've met Dr. Montague, who is running the like study in Hill House, and there was like a banter scene back and forth where they all did some like silly name game sort of things. We have met Luke, we have met Eleanor, and we have met Theodora. We've also met Mrs. Dudley and Dudley, which is interesting because they never call him Mr. Dudley. It's Mrs. Dudley and Dudley. They always leave the house before dark. She leaves dinner and she will come back in the morning at 9 to make breakfast. That is set up by them, and it's often, so anytime a new guest, well, it's really just Theodora that we know of, Mrs. Dudley sort of has a practice speech and she doesn't really say anything more. She explains that she will not be keeping up the house. She explains that she has left dinner. She explains she will be back in the morning to make breakfast at 9. So she just sort of explains that over and over. When Eleanor is given the speech, she then sort of repeats parts of it to Theodora or shortens it for her. And Mrs. Dudley doesn't really say anything else. She just repeats her lines, and Eleanor sort of chimes in with, she won't hear you if you scream at night. So we have met them. Theodora just goes by Theodora. She and Eleanor had a very cute scene at a brook. And then Luke is the heir to the house. So he is the one who actually, like, his family owns it. He will inherit the house. So he is there because those who own Hill House want someone who owns the house to be there. So they have all just sort of met in this specific room that they've called a parlor, and it's now their base of operations. They have gone off to find dinner, but what they've pointed out are The doors like to close once you open them. They don't like being left open. Theodora tried to explain that if she went this way, she would go to a certain room, and then Dr. Montague said, no, that leads to this room. But while they're trying to find the dining room, the issue has become that they still can't really find it. They're sort of wandering through the house. Now, Dr. Montague hasn't wanted to talk about the house yet. He wants to sort of just not talk about it until tomorrow. He says there's a way of things. I can tell you tomorrow. And the reason he wants to hold off is he says that the house doesn't like when people leave, and the last person who tried to leave was trampled in the middle of the night by their horse when they got to the gate. So he's trying to say like, no, I can't tell you, but they're very insistent. So after they eat dinner, he is going to explain the details of Hill House to them. So that's where I've stopped for right now. You also can't tell what day I'm filming this because I'm wearing the same shirt that I wore for the intro, but is it the same day? Anyway, so that's where I am. I thought I would just check in really quick and let you know. I kind of want to finish this today because I've read it before, but I don't want to read it too fast because like the language is really nice. I like the characters. It's very eerie already. So we shall see. I might check in again before I finish. I might only check in when I finish. I haven't decided yet. So I will see you later. Bye for now, internet people. Hello from the bed. I have officially finished The Haunting of Hill House. I just love the ending of that book. Like, as we're following Eleanor, who Theodora is the only one that like really calls her Nell or Nellie, which is the name they really use in the adaptation. But I just like, I had forgotten that her like internal monologue does this like huge shift as she gets near the end of the story, which is I think so cool because it shows like the effect that Hill House is having on her and the reason like she is the most affected. So I did finish it. I'm very excited about that. It is only Tuesday, so I still have to wait until Friday to get the audiobook. So I can't listen to the sequel yet. So I'll probably start reading off and on Delicate Condition. It's so many pages apparently. I don't know, maybe that was a typo, we'll see. But I'll probably read that off and on for the rest of the week. I may tell you a bunch about it. I may just like fill you in sporadically. I may take it into next week when I'm reading other things. So we'll see. But I just thought I would tell you that I had finished it. Plenty of time to read the sequel. So I am very much looking forward to that. I mean, I'm listening. I'm not reading the sequel. I'm just listening to it because I can get it on Audible and I think that'll be really fun to do. I also want it on Audible so I can listen to it more frequently, just because I think it'll be a fun like October listen so that I can listen to it more than once. But anyway, I have errands to run and puppies to take care of. The cats are already fully taken care of. They've gotten food and everything. So I am going to head out for now, and I'll probably have updates tomorrow. Maybe I'll definitely have a different shirt on, though this is very comfy. So I'm excited to wear the jack-o'-lantern one. All right, I will let you go for now, internet people. Bye. Hello, my lunch break is about to end, so I'm filming this super quick. I have makeup on and very fun H.P. Lovecraft shirt, even though H.P. Lovecraft is the worst, but I got this in half-price books. I like the usage of H.P. Lovecraft things, but the man is horrible. Anyway, so I have this makeup on from something I did before work today, which also included starting Delicate Condition. So I did start reading it, and it did actually come out in August 2023, which boggles my mind, but it must have been optioned when it was in like reviews. I have no idea, but it must have gotten optioned before publication, which always throws me off. But anyway, I have been reading it. It is a very quick read. I am like, I know I'm over 50% done with the book already, which is baffling to me because I just started it this morning, and I haven't like had a ton of time to read. I just sort of like read this morning, read a little bit over lunch, but it's a very quick read. So I am really liking it. So our main character, Anna, is an actress who had done a television show when she was younger, called Spellbound, and it got canceled before season 2 was even released, but it's sort of gotten a little bit of cult fame because it's on, they say it's been on a new streaming service, blah blah blah. But she'd been acting kind of steadily but in like bit parts just to make a living, and now she has just done this like huge movie that was gonna be, that they just thought was sort of gonna be like an indie one-off, like she was the lead but she didn't think it would go anywhere, and it's actually gotten a lot of buzz, so like that's incredible for her. But the issue is that she is about to turn 40, and she's decided that she wants to get pregnant. She's always wanted to have a child. She and her husband, yes, husband, they have gotten married. I had to remember. She like gave us the synopsis of their relationship and I could not remember for a sec. So they have wanted to have children. They've tried IVF for a while. They thought it took, then she thought she had a miscarriage. I am doing a very speedy job of recapping this. A lot is going on. But like while this has been going on, she's thought that someone is stalking her, someone's been in their home, someone's been messing with her calendar. All the while her best friend, who she's super close with, who was an actress, actor, has not been acting in a while, who she thought her cancer was in remission. She has just gotten sick, very sick. The cancer is back. And all of this is while Anna has like thought she's had a miscarriage, and then kept insisting that there was something still inside of her, that the baby was still there. She thinks it was an accident, like they misread something or something is, she's like, it's there, the baby is there, I can feel the baby. And they've had ultrasounds done and there's proof that there's something inside of her, but I don't know if it's her baby, cause it's like pushing on her. It like injured her rib, which is apparently normal, but yeek. Her hair has fallen out in some capacity. She like doesn't want to eat certain things. She has weird cravings, and cravings are all over the place, but like she saw a dead raccoon and was hungry, which is creepy. We've also been getting vignettes of women who have either been like, so we got a vignette for Io, I believe is her name, but her name is Io Preacher, which she appears and takes a photo of Anna at her fertility clinic, which really creeps Anna out. And so it turns out like Io Preacher, it just like took that photo, they don't have anything else, but Io Preacher was a surrogate, and it sounds like her pregnancy was awful. But then on top of that, we've gotten like elements of women who Anna has either been in contact with or who seem to tie into something else that's going on, where it's like women going into labor, a woman gave birth to something she called a monster. There's a woman who's pregnant but insists that like she hasn't really seen her husband, she does not want the baby. They already have 4 children. It's like a whole thing. But so we're getting different vignettes of women, and then things where it's like magic almost, like hiding dolls to protect the baby, which I actually have heard of. Like you hide, like you make things that represent the baby to hide them so like evil spirits don't find the baby. I've heard that in something else. Another one, she hears someone in her attic, and then the woman's like, but you wanted a baby, like you're desperate, right? Because she is pregnant and like doesn't think that they can have the baby, like keep the baby. So it's like a whole thing. So I am very intrigued, and it helps that it's such a fast read, but like I just don't know what's going on. Like I'm just like, I don't think it's a baby. I think it is something else. And Anna already said that she would love it no matter what it is, and she even jokingly said it's a spider. Way early in the book, and I'm like, oh, I don't want you to have a spider baby or a monster spider human hybrid. Like I don't need that in my brain. I am going to tell you, because I really do have to go, I have seen the 2 episodes of the adaptation of this story. I'm not going to discuss it much beyond that. I will tell you that between the book and what I have seen, the book is much better, and I don't like, I feel like you should just read that. Like you don't need to watch it. Probably shouldn't watch it. There was a whole bunch of controversy about breaking strike protocols. A lot of horrible things came out about Emma Roberts. So I mean, I'm just saying maybe don't watch it. I literally just saw it in my list and was like, I'm going to check this out. And I don't like it. I'm just not gonna do any more of it. I want to give it a shot because I'm sure you know what the adaptation is. But it's just not. The story that I'm reading is so much better, and I don't see it working well at all in what I have seen. That is not a book. But anyway, I really have to go. I talked way longer than I expected to, and my arm is also getting tired, but I have to go. Because my lunch break is like basically over now. So I'm gonna go, I'm gonna keep reading this. I will check in when I finish probably, or I really think when I finish. I didn't expect to read all of this as quickly as I am, because I really don't think it's as many pages as the internet said it was. Alright, I am going to go for now, internet people, but I am enjoying delicate condition. Bye for now. Hello from the floor of my office. I'm gonna briefly show you my outfit for the day. I don't know how I feel about this random braid. It may just go up in a bun. I was just trying to get it off my neck because it's so hot. It's like gonna be in the 80s again. It's October. I just want it to be crisp and cool flannel weather, and it's wear spooky pajamas that are shorts and a crop top weather, which this is very cute, so I have no complaints. This is from Five Below. Like the one in the intro, it's super soft. But you are here for a book update. So I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee, which is in this cup that I got last year. This is Death Before Decaf. It's also caramel apple coffee, as an FYI. But anyway, so last night I finished Delicate Condition, which was, oh, it was really, really good. So Anna's pregnancy gets even wilder. She has even more bizarre symptoms. She's like hallucinating. I don't want to give too much away, but I will say Siobhan returns. We learn who the ultrasound tech is in relationship to everything that's going on. We learn some awful things about her husband. And we just get a lot of explanations. It's very cool. And we get a time jump at the end. So really, really good. I just say read the book. Read the book or listen to it and ignore any other adaptation that is occurring, because the book was really good. Like super eerie, super creepy. Audio would probably be really good too. I don't know if an audiobook exists. I'm hoping it does. I think it does though. I feel like it does on Audible. Anyway, but really, really good. Creepy, very good. I need another sip of coffee. It's just, yes, I'm drinking hot coffee even though I said it's 1,000,000 degrees out. Okay, so, well, I thought I would just have that update for you. I actually read an entire other book last night because it was short and it was a Libby hold. So I had This Delicious Death on hold through Libby, and it just like popped in and said that it was available last night, and I was like, oh. So I like started reading it just because like I wasn't tired and I wound up reading the whole thing. So This Delicious Death is set after a thing called the Hollowing has occurred. So it is a plague that has affected the entire world, or at least the US. We're only seeing that it hit the US, where people would get really sick. They wouldn't be able to keep food down. And then in some cases, these people turned into hollows, which are basically like, they're called ghouls by people who are jerks. But it's sort of, they're like zombies. They have to eat human flesh, and that's the only thing they can eat. But it's been 2 years since the Halloween, so ugh, I knew my asthma was gonna flare. The cold to hot to staying hot is driving my lungs nuts. But it's 2 years after, so there's now like synthetic human flesh, so it's called Sin Flesh, and we're following Zoe, Celeste, Jasmine, and Valeria, and they're going to this music festival. So they're all hollows, so they have a cooler full of Sin Flesh, they have a cooler full of White Claws, and they're going to this festival. They meet a band called No Flash Photography. Val is like super into the lead singer. She really loves the band. None of the other girls like anyone really, though Zoe at a certain point does think Cole is a nice guy. He's in the band. He's really nice to her. So that's fun. But going from there, what is also happening is Zoe was kissed by Celeste, who's been her best friend since like elementary school, and they went to the Halloween together, and they were with each other when they became hollows, when they were at camp. So like they have this really strong bond. They both really care for each other. But Zoe has just realized that she's in love with Celeste and she doesn't know what to do about that. The representation in this book is incredible. Like queer rep, like general rep, it's just good. I really enjoyed it. It would have been fun if someone had asthma or something, but Celeste is now like a makeup influencer, and they're all at this thing. That's how they're at the music festival. But Zoe's bi, Celeste is trans and bi, and then Val might be bi. There's like a hint about it, but we don't know if that's true. And then Jazz is lesbian. They are so fun together. But what happens is they go to this party, and Val all of a sudden goes like briefly feral and eats one of the boys from the band. Well, partially eats. They all wind up eating a boy from this band. And they're like, what is going on? Like, Val, you ate. Why were you hungry? Because what they did is they swarmed. So because Val had already started eating him, like the blood was too strong. I know this, I'm bobbing my camera all over the place, but whatever. They just like all swarmed. Like, it just happened. So now they're trying to figure out why Val went feral. And there is something that did this to her. Like, something triggered her to be hungry, and it's triggered other ghouls. And we learn about these awful things called anthropomorphi, I think is how you say it. But it turns into like a whodunit zombie crime horror thing. I had so much fun reading it. I requested another book by the same author, but it was like so much fun. Like, I know there were zombies basically in it, like people eating human-ish flesh, but like, it was just a fun time. So I would highly recommend it if you want like a cute queer Halloween-y book. Do it. It was very fun. I just didn't expect to read it one night. So I don't have the audiobook yet. I won't have it till tomorrow, so I might just take a break today and catch up on just some like random stuff, like YouTube videos and things like that. But I will be back at least on Friday to give my thoughts on the audiobook, because I should actually be able to knock it out on Friday, hopefully. That's my goal. But yeah, so I guess let you go for now with my thoughts on Delicate Condition and the bonus book, This Delicious Death, that I didn't even expect to read this week. But yeah, so I'll be back with my thoughts on Haunting on the Hill, which I'm super, super, super excited for. All right, bye for now, internet people.
Hachette Audio presents A Haunting on the Hill, written by Elizabeth Hann, read.
Hi, internet people. So I just finished A Haunting on the Hill, which is the official sequel to The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. So the sequel is by Elizabeth Hand, who has written a number of books. I listened to the audiobook, which was very, very cool. There are like sounds that play throughout. I think you could also read it. It was just the easiest way for me to get it was to get it through audiobook. So it was really good. There are references to the original book. So I think if you want to get the most out of this one, you should read The Haunting of Hill House, just so you know those characters and what happened in that book. But if you wanted to just go into this without that, you could. I just think it benefits your experience if you know the events from the original story. So the book itself focuses on Holly, who is a playwright who has not written a play in a very long time after an issue arose with a play, her like debut play. There was a lot of drama. There was an article that basically but made it so that she couldn't really do any additional play work. So she's been teaching at a private school, and she and her girlfriend is a singer-songwriter, sometimes actress. They have sort of been on an upstate vacation because Holly has gotten this $10,000 grant to write a brand new play. It is about a witch. Because I don't have the physical book, it's hard for me to reference things. I think it's The Witch of Edmonton. I think I said that right. So she has gotten this grant to do this play, and they are near where Hill House exists. And on a random morning, Holly just like feels like she needs to get out. Like she needs to do something. She has a lot of nervous energy. She winds up at Hill House. She decides it's going to be the perfect place to prep this play, get it all figured out, have this like additional sound work done by Stevie, who is a friend of hers, who is also a sound engineer. He can get all of these sounds that they can use. He can take their voices and turn it into like background music for the show, while he also plays this devil dog character. I cannot remember the devil dog's actual name, but his character is a devil dog. So he will be playing opposite Amanda, who is an older actress who has been brought in to play the lead of this play, whose name is Sarah. So you don't really need to remember that right now, but the four of them, much like the four from the original book, are all going to be at Hill House. Now they're supposed to be there for 2 weeks. There is a married couple who will come cook food, the husband will, and the wife will be taking care of sort of like maid's duties. She cleans every once in a while. Asthma. And I'm only referring to her as like a maid because that's sort of the Mrs. Dudley character. They are very similar to Dudley and Mrs. Dudley from the first book. They leave before dark. Everything was always done in advance. They will come and sort of tidy things up, and then that's it. There's also a woman who lives on the road sort of monitoring Hill House, and Holly is afraid of her. She is introduced periodically throughout the story, but I'm going to leave her kind of vague. She's sort of an ominous presence that tells them like, you have to leave, you have to leave. So in this one, the four of them are at the house. Nisa will be providing a lot of music. So she'll be singing sort of these folklore songs that are inspired by ballads that she's sort of redoing to fit the theme of the show. So while they're there, they arrive. Hill House doesn't seem that ominous. Interestingly, all of the bedrooms they're in, I believe, are the bedrooms from the original book, but they have been painted. So they're not called the same color, but they keep mentioning like damask wallpapers that are covered. People didn't peel the wallpaper. So I think they're in the same rooms because there's an adjoining bathroom between Amanda, Nisa, and Holly's room. And so I believe that Nisa and Holly are in Nell's room, and that Amanda is in Theodora's room, and then Stevie is in a room which could be Dr. Montague's or Luke's, I'm not sure. And then there's the nursery. The nursery has been blocked off and the tower has been locked. These are key places in the original story. The nursery does come back in this one a lot. It is mentioned a lot. The tower does also come back, which is a big deal. So I don't want to give too much away, but while they are there, strange things start occurring. They keep seeing these huge black hairs, like massive, standing up. Holly thinks one, if it's standing on its hind legs, could brush her chin with its ears. They seem huge, and it does tie into this sort of witchy vibe. There's a lot of like witchy vibes throughout that Amanda even says, like, we could take it, like we could use it, it could be inspiration, like we can draw from it. But things keep getting worse and worse. And while in the original The Haunting of Hill House, Nell is our main character. We only follow Nell. We do not know the thoughts or feelings of other characters. We don't. In this one, we also get, so Holly is our main character, but we are getting Stevie, Nisa. Oh, I'm saying it wrong. I was listening to it at 2 times speed. Now my brain's like, what? And then Amanda. So we're getting everyone's point of view, which is really, really good. And you do see that sort of Hill House alteration that occurs with people. So they start thinking things. They start feeling things. They start not trusting everyone. So a lot of things start happening where you get that like very Nell vibe, like something is going on, the house is affecting them. We also, because it's the digital age in here, they have phones, they have laptops. Sound is captured on a phone, on a like a recording device by Stevie, and then that is used to show a connection to the past, which is very, very interesting. I really liked it, and that's all I'm gonna say. There are also photos that are odd, like they can take photos, but there's always something wrong with them, they can't edit them. Amanda takes a photo where she thinks all the people in it have their positions have altered, even though she could have sworn they were in different positions when she took the photo. So a lot of things are going on. The house in this book is a lot more active than it is in Nell's story. There's still the knocking. The knocking is key. There are whispered voices. A lot of things are happening, but the house seems to be amping up the longer they are there. Now, again, we were not with Nell and the others for very long in the first book, and seemingly we are not there very long either. They're supposed to be there 2 weeks. They definitely don't hit 2 weeks. But like the house is just angry. Like the house seems to be doing so much to them and trying to get them more quickly. It's a much more fast-paced, like I'm going to get you sort of vibe. I really, really enjoyed listening to this. I think I would listen to it again like at night. I think the background sounds would be really good. I just like really enjoyed myself. I'm very glad I read the other one. Now, I again do think you should read the other one first, or listen to it, or find some way to experience the original novel before going into this one. They also keep mentioning a boy and mushrooms, and like I don't know if that means there's like another book in the works that's going to be set in the 80s, or if there's like a book I don't know about. So if you know, please let me know. But I'm wondering if there's another book planned, or like a novella or something. I don't know, but I really, really enjoyed it. I highly recommend it. Darn asthma. Anyway, I do have asthma. I've discussed this a lot. It means I cough. Anyway, this video has already been longer than I anticipated, so I was gonna have clips of us going to this haunted hayride, but we're not going until Saturday. I am filming this on Friday, this outro. So what I'm gonna do is end the video here. So you'll get The Haunting of Hill House, Haunting on the Hill, This Delicious Death, and Delicate Condition. You'll get all that in here. And then you're gonna have to tune in for the next video to see the haunted hayride, and I'll be reading some other spooky stuff. But yes, so I highly recommend all the books that I read in this. They were all very, very good. Definitely check them out. And Haunting on the Hill just came out, so you can definitely find it like anywhere. I really did like the audiobook. If you're an audiobook listener, But also I think reading it would be really cool. But I am gonna let you all go because this has been a much longer video than planned. So I hope you enjoy these spooky reads. Let me know if you've read them, if you're interested in reading them. You can comment below, subscribe. You can find me on Instagram at ClefGoEverAfter, but that is everything. So I'm gonna let you all go and I will see you in the next video. Bye internet people.